Okay, today's goal is to learn how to do order of operations. So by the end of this time, we should be able to do some basic ones, and I'm also going to be throwing in some integers in there. I'll go through the first part real quick so I can actually get into the problems. You've probably heard the saying, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Each one of these letters stand for something. You should do the parentheses first, then exponents, then multiplication and division from left to right, and then addition and subtraction from left to right. And that's a common mistake, because sometimes kids think that they should do the addition before they do the subtraction. But whatever comes left to right. Now, you can obviously do the exponents at any particular time. It's not going to impact it. So I'm going to start off with a real basic one. If I was to do this really quick, I would probably say that this is 14 times 3, and I think that's probably around 42, but that's incorrect. So what I'm going to do is I check for parentheses. There isn't any. Exponents, none. Multiplication, division. Okay, first time I see is there. Now this is what I like to do with my students is I actually like to underline and what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to underline what I'm going to be doing, the 8 times 3, which is going to give me 24. And I'm going to put a 24 there. And then I'm also going to bring down the 6 plus. So I'm going to bring down what I don't use, and then multiply this, and then I get an answer of 30. And I like to circle my answer. I think students have much more success if they do it in a vertical manner. Now I'm going to give some credit to a young gentleman named Dane Gardner I had as a student many years ago. And I kind of told the kids to kind of line up the problems in kind of like a little bit of a funnel. And what he did is he kind of did this on the side. And he made it look like a reindeer. So that's a good idea to keep in mind is as you're doing this problem is it should funnel down into the one answer right there. It's easy to check if there is any mistakes. So the next one I'm going over a little bit quicker because I want to get into the negative numbers. So within this one right here, we go to our checklist of parentheses. So I'm going to have to do this. And then within my parentheses, I am going to need to do the multiplication. That's what happens to come first. So I'm going to underline what I'm doing. Now it doesn't hurt. You can also do the exponents at this time. So that's a personal preference. So what I've done is I've actually done 2 steps. And for a lot of beginners, I don't know if I'd recommend that. But with exponents, you can do that at any point. So I have 8 times 2, which is 16. Some students will even draw arrows down so they can show where the work is going. Not necessarily needed, but it doesn't hurt. Then the next thing I got to do is okay, I still have parentheses. So I got to go in within my parentheses and I go 3 plus 16. And I'm going to get 19. Now I've got to go 5 times 19, which is 95. I subtract 16 and I get an answer of 79. And again, if you are staying organized, it should kind of look like a reindeer problem or whatever particular animal this looks like to you. Okay, now that's just the basic ones. I really haven't introduced any negative numbers, but you should get an answer of 79. So let's move into some of the ones that you might hit at about the 7th or 8th grade level. So I'll give you a moment to copy this down. You can always hit pause. Okay, don't have to, but what I like to do is I like to have my students actually rewrite this as addition problem. So anytime they see a subtraction sign, what they're going to do is they're going to rewrite it as adding a negative. So I see 8 minus 3, which we know is 5, but I rewrite this as plus a negative 3. Now, a common mistake is that some students will actually do this first, but you got to go through your parentheses. Is there anything in the parentheses? No. I can check that off. Is there any exponents? No. I can check that off. Any multiplication or division? Well, let's start from the left. Here's the first time that I have it, is right here. So technically this is a negative 3 times a negative 6, and a negative times negative is a positive, so that's going to give me 18. I'm going to put an 18 there, and I'm going to put a plus sign in here for myself. All right, so is there any more multiplication or division? Yes, right here, there's a 14 divided by 2. And I believe that is 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type up 8 plus 18 plus 7. It's a nice thing to show each one of your steps in here, just in case the possibility you make a mistake or somebody else needs to follow it. Any more multiplication division? Nope. Okay, so I'm done with that. Now I go to addition and subtraction from left to right. And I'm going to go 8 plus 18, I believe, is 26. Then I'm going to add 7 to it. So I'll bring that over. And I believe the answer is 33. So we had a little bit of negatives in there. And if you realize your problem kind of did funnel down so that it looked like a reindeer, don't have to do that. It's just a nice idea for students to kind of line the problems up. Okay. All right, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to copy this from down 52 minus the quantity of 5 minus 17 times 6, and then hit the pause button. All right, this is what I've done with it so far is I'm going to rewrite this as plus and negative. I don't see a number out here. I think I'm going to put a 1 there. Now this is I'm allowed to do. So this is really like a negative 1 times everything, so it's taking the opposite of everything in there. It's just like your distributive property. I see a 5 minus 17. I know I'm going to get a negative number, but it doesn't hurt to do this. Plus a negative. Okay, now I'm ready to move on. Is there anything to do in the parentheses? Yes, right here. 5 plus a negative 17 is going to give me a negative 12. And then I got to recopy down this 5 plus the negative 1. So if you have a negative 1 on, or a negative sign on the outside, you can make it a negative 1. It's just going to help some students with it. Okay, anything in the parentheses? No, I can check that off. No exponents. Now I gotta go multiplication, division, left to right. That's addition. When they're in next to each other, that's going to be multiplication. So what I will do is I will go 52 plus 12 times 6. So I have to move this over for you a little bit. You've got the two negatives. It's going to make it a positive. And my next thing to do is 12 times 6. So I'm going to go 52 plus, I believe, 72. Okay. And then I just have to add these together. You know, 2 plus 2 is 4. But then you've got to go 5 plus 7, which is going to be 12. So you're going to get an answer of 124. And that should do it. You've got your parentheses, your exponents, your multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. If you need some more practice, this is one that you could possibly practice. And these are some possible answers that you might get. Good luck with it, and thank you very much.